Welcome back, guys. Before this video starts, I'm gonna have to let you know that yeah, this video was much shorter than the ones I originally made. The ones I originally made were around, I don't know, 1 hour, almost an hour 30 minutes. This one will simply be 30 minutes, and I'm gonna see how this does. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'll continue making the hour-long videos. If it does work out, then GG's. But before further ado, I'm gonna have to say thank you for 900 subscribers. I am honestly very grateful. We're coming up to 1,000, and I am very grateful. My channel has grown so much in just a short amount of time, and I couldn't ask for more. Until further ado, let's get into the video.
Who am I? Someone that you let go. You decide you have it, come let me know. You decide you have it, tryna let go.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today is going to be the long-awaited What If Deku Was Cheated on Part 4. We're going to be going over the overhaul arc and what happened on the little cliffhanger I left off on. Now, let's get into the story. Alright, we left off with Inko telling All Might that she's pregnant, and All Might, he's thinking back to himself at this moment. How am I gonna break the news to Izuku that he's getting a little brother or sister? Let me think about this for a second. And so, yeah, I'ma just say for 3 days, this man has been thinking on how he's gonna tell Izuku he got his mom pregnant. I'm pretty sure Izuku wouldn't have minded, but like, yeah, bottom line, if All Might says something, he might get a beating worse than what happened in the end of the year exams, like to be honest. Now, let's cut to Kendo and Deku over these past 2 days. And over these past few days, Kendo and Deku have been coming closer and closer and closer to the point where they're that picture perfect couple. Like, to be frank, yeah, they're that picture perfect couple. Like, if you look up the word couple, their photos would pop up. And yeah, everyone's took notice of this. They all thought it was cute, except Uraraka, because yeah, she's big bitch. She's big petty and also big jealous. So yeah, now over these past few days, those two, sorry, have been going on dates, and yeah, it's been going good. Your boy Deku, he getting that Glock Super so Samsung Fridge 9000, and he be getting that Whirlpool spin as well. So yeah, oh, now Deku being Deku, but in this story, he's much more confident. I'm gonna let you know that he is, let's just say he's going over to Inko and All Might's house for dinner. And this is the fourth day, by the way. This is like after those 3 days. Now, All Might and Inko, they're just talking, and All Might finally works up the courage and says, "All right, we're telling him over dinner." And Inko's like, she couldn't be happier. Like, she's happy she's having another kid. Now, when Deku walks through the door with Kendo, because he still has that house key, although they do kind of live in a mansion now, because like, yeah, that's All Might's big prime now. Like he's technically still 75% in his prime. The One for All embers are still bright and burning with, well, burning the little flame that's in him while it's still transferring most of it to Izuku still. So yeah. And before people ask why doesn't Deku have access to 60 to 75, maybe even 80%? Yeah, he does, but technically, spoiler alert in the manga, fast forward 10, maybe 20 seconds if you don't want to hear this, starting now. Okay, so Deku in the manga, we learned that um Deku's technical 100% was really 45. It was really 45 because All Might still had the embers of One for All, and it was kind of like the quirk hadn't fully transferred to him per se. So, yeah. But now that the embers were used up, he still has, well, yeah, he still has it. But if that's wrong, correct me in the comments. You can. I respond to most of them. If I have time. Yeah. Um, so let's get back into this. Now, when they walk in, they walk over to the table. They're talking, and All Might and Inko, they both say at the same time, "We got something to tell you." Deku being curious, he's like, "Oh, all right, and let's go sit down in the living room, cause like the food's like they already finished their food, so like yeah." Now, as Kendo says, "I'm gonna go. While y'all talk, I'm gonna go and clean the dishes," and so that's what she does. She's cleaning the dishes, and while Inko sits Izuku down, All Might fiddling with his fingers a little bit, being all nervous as hell because like he doesn't want to know what Izuku's gonna do to him if he once he figures it out. And All Might, he straight up says, "All right, son. You know how me and your mother got married, and how we love each other very much, and how we love you very much." Deku's like, "Yeah," and All Might just says, "Well, I am may or may not have got her pregnant," and he gets ready for a blow, and Izuku, he was about to, but then he thinks about it and he's fine with it, and he just says, "Oh, all right, that's it." And All Might says, "Yeah," as he does his arms up, opening one eye, and Izuku's like, "Well, why didn't y'all tell? Well, I mean, I don't mind, but why didn't y'all tell me sooner?" As they're just like, "Wait, what? You're fine with it?" It's like, "Yeah, I want a little sibling anyway. I always told mom that, but like, since like deadbeat wasn't around, um, we couldn't have one, and my mom would never date anybody till you. So, and honestly, if it's anybody, I'd rather it be you, All Might, to be frank. But to be honest, my name." My name is now Izuku Yagi, so yeah, I'm fine with it. And All Might, he's he lets out a massive sigh of relief. He's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna, oh, son, I thought you were gonna kill me for a second." Izuku's like, "Oh, I was thinking about it." Almost like, then wait, what stopped you? He's like, "Oh, well, despite the fact that I'd rather it be you, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that, um, Gran Torino's gonna be the one doing the killing." And All Might realizes, and also Deku also says this. Also, isn't that it doesn't also don't forget about your old sidekick. All My heart drops even more. And yes, bro, his heart just sunk. Like it completely sunk. Like he realized like Izuku's not gonna be the one doing the beating. He's gonna be the one laughing in the background, not stopping it. Like, yeah. Ooh boy. Now, because I don't want to get into this, I'm gonna just say, because I truly want to get into overall arc as quickly as possible, I'm gonna just say Gran Torino, Night Eye. Well, he didn't tell Night Eye yet, but like Gran Torino kicked his ass, straight up kicked him clean across the face like they did in UA. Said he should have wore a condom, and then said good luck with the pregnancy, as he then closes the door. Deku laughing in the background, eating popcorn through that entire ordeal. All Might gets back in the car with Izuku just eating popcorn, sees Izuku just eating popcorn. He thinks to himself, "Bro, he truly enjoyed this." Izuku chuckles to himself, just laughing at how his dad just got yeeted across the face. But no, let's get back into this. No, Izuku, he goes back to UA. I mean, Kendo Him and Kendo go back to UA. The big three, they approach Deku. Um, because they approach Deku, they start talking about work studies, and Mirio suggests that they go to Night Eyes. Izuku, knowing a brief summary on who Night Eye is, agrees. And he goes with Night Eye, and before you say it, they're walking there. So Mirio and Deku are walking to Night agency. Mirio and Deku are talking, and they're talking strategy here. Like they're talking fighting strategy because like they got combos. Now, Izuku, he's just straight up he just straight up says, "Where is it?" And Mirio says, "Oh, it's around a mile north from here." And Deku's like, "All right." He makes wind come in and lift himself up like he's Jack Frost and just like flies like a casual like maybe 100 miles per hour towards the towards the 1 mile away target. And so like they get there in like I'd say a minute. So yeah. And once they get there, Mirio just walks in, doesn't even greet the receptionist, just straight up walks in and walks towards his office. The receptionist knows who he is and sees Deku with him. He's like, all right, he should be fine. Totally. And Mirio doesn't even knock. He just opens the door, sees Night Eye tickling the bubble girl, and Deku's just like, whoa, did I walk in at the wrong time? And um Mirio says, nope, no you didn't. Don't worry. This happens all the time. And Deku's just like, wait, what? And he looks at Miro like he's insane. He looks at Night Eye with a look of concern. He looks at the bubble girl with a major look of just weirded out slightly. And he just like, yeah, did I come to the wrong place? He's thinking in his head. And that's when Night Eye speaks and says, "Oh, who might this be, Mirio?" And and then Miro just says, "Oh, this is Izuku Yagi." And when he hears Yagi, he's like, "You're All Might's kid." And Deku's like, "Yep." And Night Eye's like, "All right, all right. So you want to join my agency?" And so he pulls out a stamp with a paper. And also, before anyone says it, everyone who went to their work studies in Canon went to Canon. Umaraka went to her agency with Suyu, Kendo, her agency wherever she went. I don't really know. I don't really care to be honest. Now let's get back into this story. Now Izuku then says, "All right," and now Nadai he says, "Well, in order to join, you first gotta make me laugh, and then and then for the second, you gotta take this stamp from my hand." And sorry, I coughed. I'm very sorry. My throat's just very dry. No. And then Deku, he just looks at him. He's like, "Oh, bet." And then he tells Night Eye what happened with Gran Torino and All Might. And oh my, bro. And then he tells him that, yeah, his mom's pregnant. And then that's how he found out Inko was pregnant, that All Might's having a kid. Another one. And even though Izuku and Amara are biologically related, they have something even closer than biogenetics. They got one for all, but still. Now, let's get back into this. Nadai, he just starts burst out laughing. Like he just dying, bro. Like Muriel's never seen this man laugh so hard in his life. Like Night Eye is in tears with how much he's laughing. And so is Izuku. Cause Izuku also tells him on the fact that he was just sitting in the car eating popcorn, munching, just chilling, watching this entire ordeal happen. And when I was like, you didn't even help him? Oh my god. And he starts to laughing, bro. Like Night Eye was weak. Like he was done. He said, "All right, all right, all right. Let's go on to the next step. Although I might just let you win anyway." And he's like, "Nah, I want to take the test. I want to see if I can do this." And Night Eye's like, "Suit yourself." And he was like, "All right, start." Second, he said, "Start." Yo, all you see is the stamp in Midoriya's hand. Like that's how fast he moved. All you see is the stamp in his hand, and then he gives the stamp back to Sir Nada and says, "All right, use your quirk this time." Now Nighteye obliges, and he uses his quirk, and he sees into his future. He sees 500 different ways he gets the stamp, and every single way it ends with him either out cold or straight up just incapacitated for a while. Conscious but incapacitated. So yeah. Now, Izuku, he's getting ready to fight. Nadai says, "No, no, no, hold up, hold up, hold up. Let me just." And he just stamps it and he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." And Mirio's like, "What did you see?" And then Nada just says, "I saw 500 different futures of this exact moment. I saw every single one, me getting my ass beat, and every single one in multiple different ways of manner. Some that I wish I never saw, and some that I just can't live with." And Azuku, who's just confused, is like, "Oh, all right," and he just he just starts walking out, and then and then he was about to walk out, but then he sees the limited edition on my poster, and he runs straight back to Nada. I like, "Yo, yo, yo, how much is the poster?" And and Nada's just like, what do you mean? It's like, "Oh, the poster right there, bro. How much is it?" And he's basically like, "Yo, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, bro. I'm willing to pay anything for that poster." And Nada's like, "Wait, wait." He's like, "Wait, so you collect all my stuff too, huh?" He's like, "Yes, bro. This is the final thing of my collection. I need it. I crave it. Cause not even All Might has an extra. There's only 4 of these ever made, and they've been scattered around the continent." And literally, Nada's like, He thinks, "All right, if you come with me on this mission," because they're setting up a mission, and they're like, after this, he's like, "All right," they're setting up a mission, and since Deku won the UA Sports Festival, he's thinking, maybe I will give it to him, but he's gonna have to work for it. Nadai tells Izuku how he's gonna have to work for it by going on missions for him and stuff. Deku says, "All right, bet. What's my first mission?" He's like, "Oh, you want to start today?" He's like, "Yup." He's like, "All right, go out on patrol with Mirio." And Mirio, already changing into his hero costume, just jumps through a wall into the locker room, changes, jumps back through. Deku, he just walks, then just walks there, and he changes into his hero costume. And Deku, Deku, he's being Deku. So yeah, he's just walking around, chilling, bro. Him and Mirio are talking. They're on patrol, and they turn an alleyway, and a little girl with light bluish turquoise hair, little bit hint of white inside of it, comes out running and with bandages all over her arms. And she has, oh yeah, sorry, not sorry. She has white bluish hair with like hint of like dark blue at the bottom. She comes out running with bandages all over her arms and legs, and Deku, he sees this, he instantly is concerned, but he knows that he has no jurisdiction of doing anything. And Deku then says, "Oh, hey little girl, do you need something?" And let's just say Overhaul made it a lot worse this time. Instead of reforming the blood underneath the blood vessels, he did it on top as well, so you can clearly see the scars. So yeah, but that just makes Deku infuriated, but he just can't let it show because he still doesn't have jurisdiction, as I'm saying. So yeah, now let's get into this. Now, Overhaul comes out from behind, Eri clearly shaken, and Deku just whispers in your ear, "I will get you back no matter what. You just gotta go with him for right now." And Overhaul says, There's my daughter. Sorry, heroes. She runs away sometimes. Kids these days, they don't know how to listen. And Deku, he doesn't know Overhaul yet because, well, they haven't gotten back yet. But yeah, now Azuku, he instantly is on alert on this guy, but he obliges and lets Eri go. He tells Mirio what he feels like is happening, but he needs to confirm it. And what he feels like is happening is an abuse case, simple. But he little does he know how deep it goes into that, like how deep it goes. Now, when they get back to Nada's agency, Nada's in a meeting with other heroes, and this is the heroes that are gonna participate in the raid. Now, he's been monitoring the Yakuza bases, trying to find out how to way take down Overhaul. And then he pulls up a photo of Overhaul, and Deku and Mirio both say at the same time, "We saw him." And Nada's like, "Wait, what?" And the rest of the heroes are thinking, "Who are these kids?" And they realize it's Izuku, and Mirio is like, "All right, guess we're getting help from All Might's kid and one of the members of the Big Three. Good to know." And Nada's like, "Wait, what do you mean you saw him?" He's like, "Yeah, we saw him with a little girl. We saw him like 10 minutes ago. He's probably gone by now." And Nada's like, "What? Why did you guys stop him? Because we didn't know who he was, and we didn't have jurisdiction, and we didn't. And I may have my provisional license, but that still doesn't mean I can go around attacking random people off of superstition." And Deku says this, and yeah, that's basically it. Now they start is like, "All right, you two are participating in the raid," and they explain what the raid is. They explain what's happening, and Tamaki's also in this too. He calls up the other hero agencies, gets them in on it. So the hero agencies, Suyu and Natsu, are working out. They're coming as well. Basically, and Fat Gum's agency too. So Kirishima will be there. Now, let's get into the raid. And this happens 2 weeks later. And in these 2 weeks, Izuku and Kendo, they've been talking. Izuku tells Kendo what's been happening. And though he cannot give any specifics, he just feels he's going to save somebody, and he's made a promise to do that. So in these 2 weeks, Izuku has been training. He's been training his butt off. And it finally comes the day, and he's rested up the day before just so he can do this. Now, in this day, he is fired up. Like he's beyond pissed. Like he's angry. And Kendo can see this. He's like, "Well, I've never seen him this angry before, but it looks kind of hot." That's what she says. And Azuku, he has fury in his eyes. He's ready. He looks like he's ready to commit murder. And Mirio sees this. He does not want to mess with Izuku right now. And so yeah, everything in the raid goes to canon except for Mirio losing his abilities. I'm gonna tell you how that went. When Mirio was about to be shot by the bullet, Izuku instantly bended wind as he saw the bullet. He was about he sensed it. He seismic sensed that someone's about to pull the trigger. He bended the wind through the wall with seismic sense, just but it was only a slight bit, barely, and he made it so that the bullet's air pressure moved in the direction where like basically it moved in the direction towards Overhaul, but it just missed him barely. And the guy was about to shoot him the bullet, but Deku busts through the wall and bends earth around him and traps the guy. Overhaul sees this, he reforms the earth into water and fuses with the guy. And Mirio, being Mirio, tries to fight him, but he's winning barely. Nah, sorry, I'm capping. He wasn't winning at all. He got his ass beats. Can't lie to you. Like every time he tried to lay a hit, it looked like it didn't do jack. But when Deku came in there, bro, he told Mirio to back off, and that this is my fight right now. And he takes Eri, picks her up, brings her over to Night Eyes, and he gives her a smile saying, "Hey, I told you I'd come back for you." She's smiling, she gives Deku a hug, and she says, "Don't let me go back with that man." He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll make sure he's never going to attack anyone ever again." Also, heroes are allowed to kill. They just can only do it when the circumstance requires it. They cannot just go around killing villains. They have to have the right circumstances, and they have to have utter the utmost without a doubt reasoning for it. So like they can't just do it off of a whim. No, they have to have the utmost reasoning to do this. Now, Deku, he tells um Eri to close her eyes and to go with Sir Nighteye. Sir Nighteye does not die in this because Izuku's here. He can bend Earth. He's not letting he like Overhaul may be able to reform Earth, but Izuku can bend it. But let's just say for shits and giggles and for plot sakes, Overhaul spikes are a tiny bit faster than he can bend. Like they're moving so fast he cannot bend them, so all he can do is dodge them. But this is more than enough. Deku, he blitzes Overhaul, appears in front of him with air, and he also has fire in his hand. And he has air in one and fire in his hand. He puts them two together, and he just makes a fire tornado and punches him. This did a bit of damage, more than canon, but it still wasn't enough. Overhaul then proceeds to attack. He transforms into that massive monster thing that he did much earlier, and except it's much bigger this time, just for plot reasons, because I want to give Izuku a fight. And he starts throwing the ones with Overhaul. Like he starts running the ones. Like every hit Overhaul landed, Deku would reply with like 9. And he's using one for all at like 70% right now. And he's just beating it. Except Overhaul's HP, let's just say he's down to half. Now, Izuku, he sees this. He thinks to himself, alright, I gotta do it. And so he starts channeling wind and water. And he starts doing what he did in training. He starts using the wind to shape the water while using the water to solidify itself into a cold, cold ice. And with that, he immediately turns around, creates a massive, and I mean massive, icicle, bro. And then he has this icicle and he starts shaping it again and he creates a scythe. Then he starts doing the same thing with fire. I'm gonna say that he can do this, but it takes a lot of energy out of him. And then he starts going into the avatar state. And then he starts channeling more wind, more fire, and it's blue, by the way. Just telling you this now. Whenever he's in the avatar state, his fire turns blue. And he immediately gets so angry that it looks like his eyes glow a brighter light, and one for all boosts to 75% because of his anger. And he immediately beats on Overhaul. When I tell you Overhaul's getting thrashed around like a rag doll, it makes what Deku did to Overhaul in canon look like a bug bite. Overhaul's entire body was burnt, frosted, beat, disfigured, and completely discombobulated. Like his body's gone. Now, after this fight, Night Eye sees this. He saw this in his future, but it was more gruesome than he could have ever imagined. And Eri, her eyes were covered. Deku just runs up, gives her a hug, says, "All right, you're coming with me." And that's the end of the Overhaul arc. Well, technically. Now, I'm gonna cover the rest in the next episode, but before I go, I'm gonna say this. Thank you again for 1,000 subscribers, and also, well, not 1,000, sorry, 900 subscribers. And I also want to say, yeah, Deku did adopt Eri, and Kendo, he calls her mom and calls Deku dad, and thinks of him more than a hero. He thinks of him as a father, someone who cares for her, because that's the first time she's had that. So yeah. Until next time, bye, folks.